Hi guys and welcome to another video on this channel. It's the season opener for season 3. It's like always the Bahrain GP. And unfortunately the upgrades I did at the end of the last episode didn't carry over and didn't get saved for this episode, so yeah, I don't know why that happened, but I need to do them again, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, we didn't lose the money, so it's not that bad. And hopefully with the new facilities we can get a better car, and maybe we can even catch up to the leading teams in the season. And yeah, it would be really nice if we could do that, because for some reason in the last season they were just too quick with upgrading everything and we didn't really get close to the front. I mean, definitely not as close as we wanted, but we are in P9 in the performance chart, so that's not really good. And I don't really understand why we are not catching up to the cars ahead and why pretty much everyone is upgrading faster than we are. It's really not understandable for me. But let's go to qualifying and see what we can do in the new season. And well, the first turn of the season was not really good. We went really wide through turn 1 and then through turn 4 again. So this lap is pretty much ruined already, as now the Vries sets the fastest lap, but I think he was just the first to cross the line. And we will see what we can get out of this lap. I mean, it's pretty much screwed anyways, because we did get the first sector really bad. And then now into this corner, I turned in way too early and had to correct. So another slow corner. And then through turn 15 I just braked way too early. But for this corner I brake way too early pretty much always. And it's a 31.9, which is way off pace. And we definitely need to improve on that, like a second at least. And the second lap is starting pretty good with 5.5 tenths gained through the first corner combination. But then through turn 4 again we go wide, and we go even wider than at the first time. And we lose some time again. And then through the middle sector again, it's not good. And we lose pretty much all the time we gained in sector 1. So again, not a good lap. And we definitely need the last lap to be way better than that. At least we get this corner pretty much right this time and gain a little bit of time, but that's not going to be enough. In the end, it's around 4/10 gain, and that puts us in P20, but we need more. We need way more than that. And now we're starting our last flying lap, and we already lost 1.5 tenths through the first corner combination alone. So yeah, that's a pretty bad start to the lap, but this time we get turn 4 right, but we still need at least 5/10 of a second. But instead of gaining that time, we lose out a bit again. I mean, at the exit we gain some time, but not enough. And now we're going into the last sector with 3.5 tenths up on our previous time. And we go wide again. And we lose so much time again, and that's 200th up on our previous time. And that's not gonna be enough. And now we're even down by 2 tenths.
Okay, there's 2 minutes left in this session and we're in the drop zone. We need a quick lap
And
to qualifying over for us.
I saw I didn't take enough fuel out. I thought the setup was fueled for qualifying, but for some reason there were like 11 laps or 12 laps of fuel in. So I decided to go for another lap and hopefully gain some time there. But I mean, those 11 laps of fuel make the car heavy as well and cost us so much time. And I didn't really find the pace in qualifying around here. I don't know why, but we were just way too slow. I mean, now we have 4/10 gain, but to get into Q2 we need, I think, like 4 or 5/10 more. And through turn 13 we lose so much time again. We lost almost all the time we gained. And then we go wide through turn 14 and 15. And that means P22 in the end. We would have needed a whole second to get into Q2, so we're way off pace, and that's not good.
Return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. We go racing today around the 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Fernando Alonso yesterday puts him on pole position, with Lance Stroll alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Joe, Leclerc, Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Norris, Russell, Hamilton, Albon, Ocon, Sainz, Fittipaldi, Tsunoda, Gasly, Doohan, Magnussen, Sargent, De Vries, and the owner off the grid. Bottas and Dennis Hauger. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. A new season then, a clean slate where anything can happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as once again we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. And they've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
And now we go to the grid, and as you could see there in the lineup, Joe, I think it was Joe, at least one of the Alfa Romeos and my teammate already have grid penalties for the first round of the season. Actually, it was Bottas and not Joe. But I mean, for the first round of the season, already grid penalties. That's pretty weird. But now we'll start in P20. And hopefully we can get a good race. We get a decent getaway. And we go down the inside of many cars like we always do. And that's now P14, P15 as we lose one more position to Sargent. But that's again 5 places gained at the start. And then we dive down into turn 4. And now it's P14. And now we try to stay ahead of Tsunoda. And you can see there, 2 places ahead of us is Hamilton, who announced his retirement after the last season. So apparently he did decide to do another season, maybe because of the lost championship. I don't know, but for some reason he decided to stay in Formula 1. So maybe he will challenge for another title. But I mean, in P12 for the first race, that's not a good start. And there on the right side you can see Tsunoda going slow with an engine failure. And I almost spun it into the barrier at the same lap. And because of that I lost another position. And Sargent got so much speed over me because of the DRS, and I didn't get a good exit because of that spin. But in the braking zone I went ahead of him and I got the DRS for the next straight. But then I went really deep into turn 4. For some reason I keep locking up and going deep into turn 4. I don't like this corner on this race weekend, but I have to deal with it, so yeah. So now we try to stay with Magnussen. And maybe at the end of the race we overtake him. And maybe gain some more places, but for now we just need to stay with Magnussen, who has pretty decent pace. And now as we go into turn 13, there are yellow flags behind, and suddenly De Vries is losing so much time. So that means both AlphaTauris have an engine failure within 2 laps at the same spot of the circuit. So yeah, not a good start to the season for AlphaTauri, and not a good start for us either, as we again go deep into turn 1.
Okay, so that's a red flag, no overtaking, and let's get.
And then a few laps later there's a red flag.
An incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshal
Nobody DNF, but the Alpines were standing in turn 4.
right so far, but this is a chance
So
to
I
take
think
a
that
breath.
triggered the red flag.
Half of this race to go, and there's still a big opportunity.
And now we're going to the end without a pit stop.
We'll be getting underway in just a moment. Stand by.
So it's mediums or hards for everyone on the grid. And at the restart again we could make up some positions. We go to the inside again. And we go down the inside of some cars again. And it's only 2 positions gained, but with a better exit out of turn 3 we overtake Magnussen as well. And then we go down the inside of Gasly. But we jump over the curb and jump into Gasly. And now we have front wing and floor damage. And now we have 3 wide into turn 5. And that was never gonna end well. And now we are in last again. Gasly with a broken front wing. And now you can see it from his perspective. I went wide and he was down our inside. And there you can see Ocon gave us a little space. I thought he turned in a little bit more, so I turned in more as well. So that was a bit unfortunate. I mean, there wouldn't have been enough space for all 3 of us anyways, but it probably would have gone a little bit more gently than it went this way. And then into turn 10 we made contact with Ocon again. I locked up in turn 9 a little bit and then went wide. Ocon was on our outside, so that's a pretty unfortunate racing incident. And now to turn 13, Ocon overtook us, but we're gonna try to regain the position and we lock up again. For some reason we were locking up really much this race, and then on lap 18 I decided to box and change the front wing. Because there was just no point in driving around with the broken front wing. We were pretty much last anyways, so why not get new softs?
Let me know you're okay.
But then on the next lap I spun it again, and this time our race is over. So that's the first DNF of the season, and not a good start.
Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
It's time to present the top drivers with their trophies for today's Grand Prix. And there are a lot of people in the paddock very happy with this result. It's Aston Martin on the top step.
So in the end, Stroll went on to win the race, which is really a surprise. Both AlphaTauris DNF'd, we DNF'd. Not a good start to the season, and hopefully we can get a better race at the next video around Jeddah. So yeah, we will see how that will play out, but this time it wasn't really good, it was a really bad race. So see you guys next time, goodbye.